Hello everyone. In this video I'm going to talk about data entry forms. This is where data from observation registers or hard copies are entered to be available in the system. And I'm going to show you three aspects. Number one is how to activate required data entry forms. Number two is the layout of different data entry forms. And then common aspects or specific aspects of all data entry forms. So let's launch ClaimSoft and try to log in with our username and password. And here you will be able to see this dialog, this welcome dialog, which show different aspects of ClaimSoft or different components. And the component of our interest here is data entry. By clicking on it, it will open this dialog which is empty. This is where data entry forms are listed, but now this form is empty, so we need to activate required forms to be listed here depending on which one we want to use in our daily operations. So how to go about it? Now, to activate forms, this is normally done by the administrator. So the administrator come at this menu, administration, and then select data forms. Once you select data forms, you'll be able to see a list of available forms in ClaimSoft. But definitely you don't need all these forms, but you need only what will be required in your daily operations. So let's say we want this one, form daily 2. This is a daily data for the whole month, and we want also form hourly data. So let's select the 2 and see, then click apply, and then you'll see this message that your forms are successfully activated. And then you close this, open again this icon, click on it, and by double click on this line, or one click and open, you'll be able to open this form. So you can also want to open the second one. So here we have two forms. We have form daily 2 and hourly data. So there are two forms. This one is for yes. So this one is for daily data for the whole elements, and this one is for entering hourly data. Now let's look at the general layout now of the forms. Number one is the general information about the form. So this is general information about here you have the station. You can the list here. You have the elements, year, month, hour, units, and so on. So the same apply here on this hourly one. You see this for stations, elements, year, month, day, and so on. So there is, first of all, there is this general information, the upper part. And then if you move, you'll see what is called the value boxes. This is where data are entered. This one and here on the hourly form here. And then if you go a bit down, you will see the record browser part on both, and then you will see the command button on different forms. Some are activated like this one, others are not activated. So that this depends with the situation. And lastly, there is this upload button. Okay, so this is a common sort of common aspects on all the forms, though there are also some specific aspects on some forms, like this form for the whole month, daily data for the whole month. So this one has got uh, some specific elements here which we are going to see later, but still under the common aspects, there is what is called enter key. So using your enter key, you'll be able to move from one value box to another. So one value box to another. So let's say this is the daily maximum temperature. So I can say maybe this one is 28. So to move to the next text to the value box, so that is we normally use the enter key. Yeah, so the enter key is used on all the forms to move from one value box to another. So if here, for example, is a dry bulb temperature, so if here I have 20, 21, and so on. So the enter key is used on all the forms to move from one box to another. There is also the tab key, which also can be used to move from one cell to another, but not registering a value. So the difference is that using the enter key, you are registering the value. So enter, the value is registered. But if you use the tab key, you just want to move from one value box to another without registering the key. And then there is also this total box. Some elements need this value. For example, the precipitation, you may need to check the total and so on. So there is this total value box which is on or most of the forms. Yeah, so there are also some buttons which I say are enabled and others are disabled depending on the situation. Like this save button is enabled, but once this value is clicked, so it will also be disabled and then it will enable add new. So we are going to look at that later. There is also the quality control check at the data entry level. So let's say maybe a very high temperature of maybe 60 degrees. So I say this one is too high. I'm expecting values below 40 degrees centigrade. And if I try here, dry bulb of 50, it is too much. So there is also this check on both forms. Uh, there is also what is called insert and delete cell. So let's assume this value is here at date 1 belong to date 2 and this one belong to date 4 and so on. So you want to all the values to go down one cell. So this one, you right click here and you say insert cell to shift all the values downward. Or no, I mean, yeah, downward or forward. Yeah. So if you say insert cell, all the values will be pushed one cell after. So you see, So now here you can enter the value you want to enter. So let's say maybe this value here, let's say all the values you want to start from value 1. So you can say, instead of uh, removing all the values and type again, you can say delete cell to push those all the values upward. So insert cell, shift all the values downward. If I insert here, it will remove it to shift all the values downward. And then if I click delete cell, it will shift all the value upwards. Yeah, so that's it. There is also this upload button on both. This one help you to transfer data from one level to another in the database. So from the forms to the database. And now let's see some of the specific features which can be on one form and not in another one. We have what is called unit measures, like here. For temperature, is degree Celsius and degree Fahrenheit, because some data, historical data, can be available in Fahrenheit, or some countries can decide to use Fahrenheit instead of Celsius, where the default here is set to degree Celsius. For precipitation, the default is set to millimeter, but it is possible to have some countries with historical data in inches. The same for the cloud height. The default is feet. The same for visibility. The default is meters, but there's some data which may be required to be entered in yards, and so on. And then there is also what is called automatic change of the next element. So this one will see this in the sequencer clearly, but once you click on add new, it will bring another element. So I'm going to show you this later. And then once you finish the one date, automatically it will go to another date. There is also this component here of assign same value to all observations. So you can set here maybe this, let's say maybe this one is precipitation. So you can be able to use codes to move faster. Like the code for precipitation is 5. The code element for maximum is this one, and so on. So let's say 5, and the whole month is 0. So instead of typing zeros, because there are some period whereby there is no rainfall at all, so instead of typing zeros, it can take most of your time, but you can decide to set the default value to all the observations, and then using the enter key to validate, to register. And then here it says you need to confirm if your values, say you cannot leave this value box blank, because I'm expecting a value here. So if you say, for example, 5, it will say no, this is not correct. So after computation, I saw the value should be 3. So this is to help you during your process for data entering process. So once we click on save, this will become disabled, and then the add new will become enable. Save, yes. So you see now the add new button become available. So to be able to clear this form and bring a blank value, then by clicking on add new, it will bring the next element, so automatically. So you see, once I click, it bring another element. So that, yeah, so this is called automatic change of the next elements. So at the end of the date, It will also change the date automatically and so on. And then there is also what is called future date. So future date cannot be enabled in this one. So let's say looking at the date here, this is 4th, today is 4th June. So that means I cannot enter data for tomorrow because this is a future date. So it will not allow me to enter data for tomorrow. So this to avoid mistakes. So let's say if I change the month here, say we are in June, it will say, okay, we are in June, but you are allowed to enter data on day 1, day 2, and day 3 only. The rest are future dates, so you cannot be able to enter data for future dates. So the system will not allow you to enter such data. Yeah, so the same apply here on the hourly form. So let's say we are in June, and then the date is maybe, let's say, tomorrow. If you say no, it is not possible to enter data for future. So it will not allow you to enter data for future dates. So don't go away. In my next video, I'm going to show you how to configure now the data entry forms sequencers. Thank you very much.